cents each. All natural boneless chicken breasts, $2.48 per pound. And all natural thick cut bone-in pork chops, $2.88 per pound. Plus, call ahead now to reserve your fresh turkey for Thanksgiving. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
A Monday morning boom here on 93.7 The Ticket. Glad to be with you after a victory here for Nebraska football. Overall, pretty good week altogether. Weekend, I should say, for Nebraska athletics. Husker men's basketball, women's wrestling. Our women's basketball, wrestling as well. So it's it's a good time to be a Husker fan here in the great city of Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Jake Bockoven, joined by Jake Sorensen for the first segment. We've got kind of a special day. You might say, well, what time is it? Is one-on-one really ready to go here? We moved it up today because we got to get to the icebox. We've got the drive. Of course, Nick Sainert and AD going into the icebox. Going to check out some Stars practice as their season is well underway as well. But we got plenty to talk about. Sorensen, your Dolphins, we got to start with that. How did they?
I'm repping it, Bob.
Yeah, I did. Are you still cheering? My Cardinals lost the other day, and every week I'm still thinking, should I cheer for a draft pick and hope they lose, or should I hope they win? But it was quite a surprise to see the Dolphins beat the Bills.
Well, this is the problem, Bach, is that mid-season, we're at mid-season, just past mid-season. If you're smart, you tank, but tanking sucks. Tanking is not what the fans are there for. They want to see your team win. Like, it's hard for me to just bail on a season in early November. That's tough. That's not fun. So, yes, it's probably smart for the Dolphins to tank for a high pick, but then you see yesterday where they looked like they're world beaters. I mean, Tua was not great, but he was good enough. Devon Achane was fantastic. The offensive line was great. Defense was good. Like, maybe they make a run. They got Commanders in Spain this week. Then they play the Saints and the Jets. Like, they could get back to 6 and 7, and then probably fall apart like they always do. But especially when you're playing the Bills, the Dolphins were 2-15 against the Sean McDermott-led Bills. I will take a win always against them. Always.
Yeah, especially when you got Jay Foreman walking in the building later too. I know you'll let him know.
He can't walk past this, Bach. Or if it gets a little hot, I might just go like this.
A little more Dolphins gear.
Show that off there.
Out of the Dolphins gear.
We'll just show him the phone for a second.
The Dolphins' pride is back. That's good to see. Again, for my Cardinals, not necessarily they got beat down by the Seahawks.
That was bad.
Yeah, the Jacory Brissett honeymoon phase is over. Yeah, all done. Oh well. They still and then the reports, of course, all weekend of them maybe moving off of their quarterback Kyler Murray. So I don't know. I don't even know what
we're kind of both in disarray. I have one moment of a glimpse of happiness.
That's right.
Which you don't have today. So.
Yeah, not today, but it might happen later. It was kind of a weird week in the NFL. I mean, you had a few different upsets, if you want to call them that. I mean, the Saints beating the Panthers for their second win, a little bit surprising. We already mentioned. I mean, I don't know if you'd call the Jets beating the Browns an upset. They're both 2-7.
Can't do that.
But I mean, the Ravens getting a win is not an upset either, of course. But the Vikings fall to 4-5, so kind of some questions out that way. So kind of just an interesting week in the NFL. Of course, interesting week in college football as well. Before we get to the Nebraska game, I did want to point out there's some games that people maybe did not note as of late. Did you see that Oregon State lost?
We did, to Sam Houston, who was winless at that point.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's really
Oregon
bad.
State had just beaten Washington State the previous week. Like they were 0-7. They won 2 games. Now they're 2-8.
Yeah.
So still a terrible season, but you don't lose to Sam Houston. They were 20-point favorites against Sam Houston.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, this was the first win for Sam Houston on the season, so that's not necessarily good. They're and I don't know if it makes it look any worse. I mean, I don't want to pile on. Of course, the Mike Riley era didn't go as you wanted to, but Danny Langsdorff and Mike Kavanaugh, some of those guys still out there. Of course, Trent Bray was the coach for Oregon State going into the season, but yeah, as if that was ever going to age well. It's not aging any better.
I want to give you a stat real quick, Bach.
Okay.
Going back to, you mentioned Jets Browns.
Yeah.
So the Jets won 27-20. They had 160 yards of offense in the game, including Justin Fields, a nice 6 for 11 passing for 54 yards, a touchdown and a pick. They had a kickoff return and a punt return touchdown in that game. The Jets did. 2 touchdowns were via special teams in the first quarter.
It is pathetic. Of their 54 yards passing, 42 was on a pass to Breece Hall. So
a screen pass. It was a screen pass. 42 of 54 on a screen pass. They're horrible, and they won the game.
And they won. So sometimes,
Whatever.
yeah, it's not always great. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because I heard you guys on early break talking about it quite a bit, was the Iowa-Oregon game,
Yes.
and enjoying the all the Big Ten-ness that involved in that game. I love that.
Big Ten-ness is a perfect way to describe that, Bob.
Yes.
And Oregon has embraced Big Ten-ness.
That's right.
By the way.
But I mean, it's just kind of funny because, and obviously you don't do this on purpose, but it's funny because Iowa went down 2-0, and you're always thinking right in that moment, it's like they got them right where they want them.
Yep.
This is an Iowa football game going on right here. So.
It was. Well, and I give Oregon credit because, who saw a 96-yard drive for Iowa coming? And Gronowski had a couple of nice passes on that drive too.
Yeah.
So they melt the clock. They get the touchdown on 4th down. And by the way, on that play, I know you have to respect and cover that, but everybody and their dog knew that he was going to run the football. Gronowski loves to run.
Yeah.
It's 4th and goal at the 2. They put like 3 receivers right and 2 left. And so you got to cover them all. So you got to beat 1 linebacker. And guess what? He beat him with ease, didn't get touched on that play. So easy touchdown for the Hawkeyes. But kudos to Oregon for moving the ball in the rain and the cold. The huge catch to Beeston was awesome. And then, of course, the kicker with the amazing name Atticus hits the
right.
the game winner. So it's always fun to see Iowa lose. And then after the game, Bach, you see Oregon goes and taunts the fans, and Iowa responds by throwing beer cans. The same fan base that's waving to the cancer clinic is throwing beer cans at opposing players. So that's great, Iowa.
Well,
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I went to the Iowa-Minnesota game a couple weeks ago, and my biggest takeaway from that was there were shooters everywhere. I mean, you're going to see shooters at any football game. Don't get me wrong. There were shooters everywhere, and it wasn't just the student section. I wasn't even in the student section until the end. It was it is a lively crowd at Iowa, if you want to put it that way. But of course, the big news for college football in our circles is Nebraska beating UCLA 28-21. TJ Lateef, along with Emmett Johnson, both somewhat historic performances, if you want to put it that way. Obviously, big for Nebraska to improve to 7-3. What was your biggest kind of takeaway from that game?
Well, I thought Lateef looked really good. I mean, Emmett Johnson deserves all the praise in the world. We'll get to him in a second. But the conversation was, can TJ Lateef go on the road in his first start back to where he's from in California and win a football game? UCLA, of course, had just got pummeled by 50 points against Indiana, had a bye week to recover, but they had won 3 straight games before that. And they were playing competent football. And Nebraska got up 28-7 on them. 28-7. Nebraska scores their first 4 series, touchdown. And, Bach, I'm telling you, from the get-go, I never saw one single play that Lateef looked uncomfortable. Kudos to the offensive line. Kudos to Holgerson for calling a good game. But Lateef never showed a fumbled snap or losing control on a throw. He just looked like he was always in control. And I think that's very impressive, and why you might have a very awkward conversation these next few weeks if he continues to play well after the bye week at Penn State against Iowa here in Lincoln.
Yeah, it certainly could get interesting here. Again, TJ Lateef, 13 for 15, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, 5 carries and 31 yards as well in his debut as a starter. And I agree with you. And my concern going into the game, again, from a very brief look at him against USC was, like let the ball hit the floor a few times. So I was like, all right, well,
3 fumbles.
Yeah. You're going to have to. So that was something we thought we might have to worry about. How much does a week of preparation? Like you said, I mean, you got to give credit to everybody. Daniel Holgerson, the offensive line, no sacks allowed.
Yep.
Part of that being TJ Latif's kind of short. Not sitting there and reading the defense, kind of making quick reads and going if he needs
but Bach, he made progressions though.
Yeah,
he made progressions, which is impressive. He wasn't locking on guys, and
yeah,
and he did it quickly. So that's something you haven't seen a lot from Dylan. He's struggled at quick progressions. I think everybody would say that about Dylan.
Yeah.
Great arm talent. I'm not saying he's not going to be the quarterback here going forward, but in terms of what I saw of the operation of his progressions, it was quick. And yeah, that's awesome that Nebraska just didn't have negative plays to hurt them. No turnovers at all for the Huskers. Neither team had a turnover. It was a pretty clean game that way. But here's the question. You just mentioned that, Bach, that against USC comes in relief of the injured Raiola and has 3 fumbles. That was a cold game. Not rainy, but cold. You have a bye week. You're going to go to a surely cold game at Penn State and a cold game in Lincoln. It was warm in California, and he was good there.
Yeah.
The biggest question about TJ is going to be, okay, you played awesome against UCLA. Can you do that in the cold? It's not just easy like that. Some guys have issues holding on to the ball in the cold, playing good football. If he goes to Penn State and performs well, and then comes back and beats Iowa and performs well in cold weather, now we have a legitimate, big-time controversy here. And that's a fun thing. A good drama. Not bad drama, good drama, Bach.
Yeah, it certainly would be interesting. And it's there. I mean, some people want to put it off. And you're right. I mean, you got to let these games play out. One game does not make you, kind of the franchise quarterback, if you will, here for Nebraska. But the game looked different. It was a complete game, if you will, from the offense. Now, could they have, if they were more aggressive or whatever, tried to score a little bit more late? Sure. But altogether, so, say, well, they didn't score any in the fourth quarter. Okay. But as far as what we've seen and comparing it to what we've seen this year, no major glaring giant gap of time where just the team doesn't have much going on. Now, Matt Rule didn't take care of his timeouts again in the second half, which I don't know if they just need to hire a second half timeout guy that's really sitting on top of those things. But in any case, it didn't ultimately cost Nebraska the game here. The other conversation that we can't really deny at this point either is Emmett Johnson's rise and what that might mean for the future. Certainly you can talk about the NFL draft and all that. He's positioned himself well there. So we'll have a decision. Again, good drama, because it's been a long time. I can't remember since Amir Abdullah anybody really making a decision about coming back for their senior year. And again, this might not go that way. He might choose differently, but either way, he's fine. I mean, I talk about it and I phrase it this way because we've seen it kind of develop over the last couple of weeks where he's really elevated his game and really started to put on these great performances. Is that we've talked about this for what, like, I guess since 2018, every offseason you need a 1,000-yard back. Well, not only is he a 1,000-yard back, I mean, his total numbers are rising up there.
He's second in the country in rush yards, so he's 40 yards behind a guy from Jacksonville State.
Yeah, but Jacksonville State's one level of competition. Of course, the Big Ten being another. I mean, it's getting to the point. I started to kind of think about it. You're starting to think, okay, where does he now fit in Nebraska running back history? And he's still got a few games to go.
Yet, but here's the
thing. I'll say it. Roy Halu, Rex Burkhead, Emmett Johnson.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's solid. I mean,
I'm not saying Mike Rozier.
No, that's not.
I'm not going up that far. But
yeah. So Emmett Johnson had 28 carries for 129 and a touchdown. Also had 3 catches. So I mean, that's 2 straight games of 30+ touches. He had 29 carries against USC and a couple catches. So he had 30+ touches. And knock on wood, he keeps staying healthy. I mean, he's just been remarkably healthy this year for the Huskers. So you get a bye week to recover even more for him, and you go to Penn State and have Iowa. If he keeps this clip up of 130+ a game, Bach, we're talking about a first-team All-American, not just first-team All-Big Ten. He has been so important because that would be, number one, a 3-1 November if they win those games, if they beat Penn State and Iowa, which hasn't happened here, and he'd be a big reason why. That'd be a big yardage on a team that went 9-3 or 8-4. And so, yeah, he is legitimately right now an All-American candidate. Because last year, Caleb Johnson was All-American in Iowa. Were they 9-3 or 8-4 last year? I forget what Iowa was.
I don't remember what they.
So their record didn't hurt him in terms of not being a 10-11 win team. Like he had big stats. But Emmett Johnson's right there with him.
Yeah, and of course he did a lot of damage through the air too. So I mean, he's up to 300 receiving yards on the season.
We haven't seen Bach in a first-team All-American since 2011 at Nebraska. That was Prince Amukamara. I know that because Sip can never let that go. He's like, it's been 14 years.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen players at Buffalo be first-team All-Americans and Purdue and Rutgers, but not at Nebraska.
and especially
Johnson got a chance.
the running back position. I mean, it's not not that any position is downgrading here in that conversation. Your first team All-American, you're definitely one of the best. But of course, that is a position where you get the ball quite a bit and certainly have an impact on the game. So it is really incredible to see what he's done in helping carry this team. But you kind of mentioned it too. Do you think that we talked about it in Caleb Johnson, kind of the example there. I guess the question I'm getting to is after watching Penn State, after watching Iowa, before the Nebraska UCLA game, I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be, I phrased it in my own mind. I said, this is probably Nebraska's last chance at a regular season victory based on what we had seen to that point.
Right.
After the UCLA game, again, I think that was probably the best game of the year for Nebraska, most complete game. All the, the early games against the
you can't count
Houston Christian, Akron aside, right? Now I'm not so sure. Now I'm sure those teams still will be favored in those games, but I feel like Nebraska's got a shot. Did you have a similar feeling before the UCLA game?
Yeah, I was concerned. Yeah. I picked that Nebraska to lose the football game. I said 27-21 on the radio pregame show, and I don't regret that because I thought they were going to lose the football game.
Yeah.
But Latif, and you see why I said that because of how Nico runs the football. He's so good. I mean, he's such a pure runner back there, and Nebraska struggled to stop him. But Latif exceeded my expectations. He didn't make the mistake. I thought he could put up decent numbers, but I thought, okay, when's that big mistake come? The sack, fumble, the pick, the drop snap. It didn't happen. And so that's a kudos for him being coached well by Glenn Thomas and Dana Holgerson and Matt Rule and just having a good game plan. Because, I mean, Bach, we've seen the O-line play well this year at times and still had a moment like the USC game. They played well against USC, and the one big sack was the sack fumble that hurt Dylan. They didn't have that moment one time in that game. Kudos to Latif for being mobile and being a quick decision maker, but you never saw him get pressed and nearly even sacked at all.
Yeah.
So complete football game. Defense, again, people like to complain about them blowing the 21-point lead. They still won the game. And also, don't forget, Bach, the offense, the way they finished that game was remarkable. Okay. UCLA scores with 4:50 to go in the football game. There's a great chance they're going to get the ball back. Never got the ball back. Huskers got a couple first downs, 9 plays, 36 yards, kneeled the ball to end the game. That's hard to do, especially on the road.
Yeah, I thought that conversation was a little bit weird. There's, I get it. You want, and at some point, hopefully Nebraska's program does get to the point where you just score in the game, they hurt their feelings, they're not coming back. So I can understand that. But when you're playing from the lead, I mean, they had the ball at UCLA's 41 and punted. If that's because they're playing with the lead, right? I mean, so they're protecting the lead. It's not, it's not one of those playing not to lose or, kind of versus playing to win thing. That's the right decision to make. And it worked out perfectly for them, like you said, because they were able to sit on the clock at the end of the game and get the win. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Thank you to Jake Sorensen for sitting in with me. I will be sitting solo, so hit us up on the text line 402-464-5685. We could talk some hoops. Rink Mass.
Yes.
Triple-double.
Yeah.
I'm still going to argue, even though he's the worst of the three, Cam Max triple-double the most impressive so far. Delano Banton against Doan. Yeah, there you go. You got that going.
Wait, was it against Doan he did that? Delano Banton?
Delano Banton's was against Doan. I don't know if that should count. I don't even know.
Was it exhibition? Was that it count?
I don't even know how that counts necessarily.
We can't count that.
But it is what it is. Rink Mass out there hunting assist toward the end of the game to make sure he got that triple-double. Excellent start to the season. Before I let you go
ahead. I'm good.
Quick expectations for Nebraska basketball after opening with the exhibition win over BYU, nearly 100 points scored here in this game. Obviously we kind of know the team's going to be hot and cold based on whether they're shooting or not. But I feel maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I'll fall into this once in a while, but I feel like this could be the special year.
They made 17 threes, and they share the ball pretty well. don't really still have a great post presence that's going to hurt in conference play.
We'll see what Oogie comes back.
And now you get one more, I put quotations, bye game tomorrow night against Maryland Eastern Shore. Then you got three tough games in a row. Oklahoma on Saturday in Sioux Falls at the Pentagon will be a tough game. And then New Mexico after that. And then they play either Mississippi State or K-State in Kansas City. So we'll learn something about what they are. I mean, if you go 0 for 3, that's bad. If you win 2 out of 3, awesome. Three of those great games, watch out. And one of the 3, that's just that's Nebraska basketball.
Yeah.
So good opportunities. And I'm excited for them to see how they play outside of PBA.
It is interesting because again, kind of looking forward, I was looking at the schedule too and kind of thinking that, and my normal Nebraska basketball mind kind of got in the same type of space. Well, okay, here comes the big games. Then I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm confident in these games. This is right. A different feeling.
And Sioux Falls, and they lost to St. Mary's last year, a tournament team by 3. They played well in that game, but they have played well in Sioux Falls. They blew out Oklahoma State a couple years ago. They beat Oregon State a couple years ago by a lot as well. So they have done well in that building besides the loss to St. Mary's. So for some reason, great support in that arena for Nebraska. So I will be there, by the way.
Are you going? Yeah.
I will be in.
Have you been yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun.
I'll be at the stands.
Yeah, that's awesome. With
the bye week for football, I said, I'll make the trip to Sioux Falls. Sure, let's go watch some hoops.
A couple of my buddies go up there all the time, and they're making the trip again. They love that trip.
They have a game there tonight, too. Somebody else is playing in Sioux Falls tonight. Like, they're getting all these games. Let me check it out real quick, Bach. There's I think it's like Mississippi State plays there tonight, something like that. Let me get this right. Yeah, Mississippi State at Iowa State in Sioux Falls this evening.
Nice.
They've had so many games there already.
It's interesting, too. I always love college basketball. You get like the top teams playing each other at the beginning of the year, and there's just all these great matchups. And it's just often kind of overlooked because college football, these other sports going on. But yeah, college basketball off to a good start.
Yes.
We'll really start to get into it when Nebraska plays major competition. But that's a week away.
Saturday, Bob.
A week away.
Saturday.
Yeah. So there we go. Let's go ahead and take a break. Thanks again to Jake Sorensen for stopping in for this first segment of One-on-One. Once again, I'm flying solo, so text in 402-464-5685. Give me your thoughts on the game. Of course, the Latif, the debut as a starter, the controversy that might surround that. Emmett Johnson going off. Is he going to be here next year? Yeah, I'm inviting the conversations that we said to put on hold. We'll do that coming up next year on One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your weekend forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light wind. An afternoon high around 40. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, breezy, low around 30. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, light breeze, and the afternoon high near 68. I'm meteorologist Control Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda. Your local artists and experts in charcuterie and glazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your Graze Table today at grazandgouda.com. Graze and Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
The 2026 Love Nebraska schedule is here. Season 2 features 10 opportunities to catch your home team in Nebraska, with 9 at Baxter Arena and 1 at the Heartland Events Center in Grand Island. More matches means more chances to see your favorite pro volleyball athletes, like Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson. Check out the full schedule by visiting lovneb.com/schedule.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
You're listening to One on One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back here on One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket. DP still traveling in. He, of course, made the trip out to the Rose Bowl to watch Nebraska UCLA, which, by the way, might not be happening. That might not be an opportunity for much longer, as UCLA, the reports are, close to a done deal to move to SoFi Stadium at the end of the year. Now, they're not going to announce anything until the end of the season, but they've got a lease that runs with the Rose Bowl through June of 2044, and it would cost them about $60 to $80 million to get out of that agreement, but they might think it's worth it. SoFi Stadium, a big problem with the Rose Bowl in the UCLA crowd, you might have noticed there's more red in the building than UCLA colors. Big problem for them is getting their students to go to the games. It would be much closer to campus. SoFi Stadium, just 12 miles away from UCLA's campus, as opposed to 32 miles, the Rose Bowl, which is a big difference when you consider LA traffic and all the stuff that kind of factors in there to get people to go to watch UCLA play. So might not get too much more of a chance to go watch Nebraska play in the Rose Bowl unless they make the Rose Bowl game. So hopefully everybody enjoyed it that went out there. Like I said, DP went out there, and then as I think he stayed out there as well for Sunday Night Football with the Chargers out there. So hopefully he's having fun. He's going to be coming back. We do have a bit of a programming update. Of course, we have one-on-one a little bit earlier today than usual. The drive was set to go from the ice box with the Lincoln Stars here in the next couple hours. We're still going to have the drive from 10 to 12, so don't worry. We'll get our daily dose of Nick and AD, and hopefully, and I believe Nick's actually going to join me here around the corner, but we also we just want to say, we're going to find another time to go out to the icebox. Things just not working out necessarily with that remote this morning. So we'll have the show from in studio. No big problem. We'll have another remote from the icebox. We'll get you a Stars practice broadcast here at some point in the next couple of weeks, I would assume. So that will be exciting moving forward. I did want to also pay off some of the text line. I encourage you guys to go ahead and text in, give me your thoughts on the big game, Nebraska, the 28-21 win over UCLA. And I thought there were some interesting thoughts there. As we go back a little bit earlier, it's always funny to poke fun at Iowa, even though they played a good game. So Too Rip to Quit said, was laughing at Iowa, says how's it feel to lose by a walk-off field goal? Of course, Iowa has had a history or had a time where they were poking fun at Nebraska, having done that in Memorial Stadium. So that's fair enough. Derek Nakar brought something out that I did not necessarily notice about the game. Did we target the tight end group last game? Get them out of witness protection, he says. I did not notice that. You look at the receiving numbers there, only 4 different guys getting the receptions, and it's the names you would expect, I suppose, if I told you the tight end group was not involved. Of course, Emmett Johnson, the big receiving day, 3 receptions, 103 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ja'Cory Barney with the other touchdowns, 4 catches for 19 yards for Barney. Dane Keith, 3 for 46, and Isaiah Hunter, 3 for 37. And he sure got lit up on that screen this week. That screen has worked out. The wide receiver screen to him has worked out for touchdowns a few times this year, but UCLA had that scouted out pretty well. But in any case, I'm sure he was fine. He might still be feeling that a little bit this morning, though, because I could feel it looking that through the TV screen. But yeah, I mean, I think that could be another dimension to the offense. Usually you say with a young quarterback, a tight end could be his best friend. Of course, Luke Lindenmeyer has had a great year so far. So that's interesting. Harburg, of course, as well. I do want to say this. They succeeded with their Harburg sneak. I've been pretty critical about that throughout the season because it hasn't necessarily worked so far, but they did get that going. So maybe they didn't get a tight end involved in the passing game, but Harburg's 1 carry for 2 yards worked out this week. And I think we all would agree that as long as Nebraska finds a way to do it, you're pretty happy. But I mean, I don't want to just put it that way because, again, Nebraska, this was as close to a complete game, maybe as you could say, with a 7-point victory that we've seen for Nebraska throughout the year. So it does, in a way, matter how you win, right? Scott in California says, Scott in Minnesota, talking about California, says California teams are now 2-0 in Lincoln in November since joining the Big Ten. Are we the warm weather team here in the Huskers? I don't know if we would say that, but yeah, I mean, I that was part of it too that I was intrigued by because I noticed last year Minnesota beat USC and UCLA. And right then, it was before Nebraska had played either of them. And I thought, that's interesting. So Minnesota already has beaten the two California teams. Is Nebraska going to be able to do that? And of course, they went 0 for 2 in year one and then lost to USC here in Lincoln. But they got off the schneid. They beat UCLA here. So it's not all good for California teams against the Huskers so far. But yeah, we'll see. As Jake Sorensen was pointing out in the first segment, it's going to be a little bit colder against Penn State and Iowa. So this was kind of a warm weather game. TJ Lateef going back home, perfect setup for him, but kind of playing in weather he's used to. We'll see how he plays when the weather gets a little bit colder. But man, what a debut for the freshman quarterback. Remember there was talk this year about redshirting him. There's talk about maybe him. At one point he had to take that number 2 quarterback position, right? Just impressive with what he was able to do. Surgical, if you will, throughout the game, 13 of 15 passes and on his passes. And, that screen pass could have been caught too. So certainly could have even improved on that, but he's over 80% passing on the year. That was one thing about the USC game, although it didn't look good, fumbled the ball 3 times, right? Didn't get the win coming out of that Trojan game, wasn't able to protect the lead for long enough. But his completion percentage was good in that game, so it didn't hurt it there. But you combine that with the rest of his stats this year, he's looking like Julian Sayin, who also is over 80% completion percentage, amazingly, for Ohio State. Big Haas chimes in and says, do you think Quentin Ives leaves not getting any playing time? Certainly could be on the table. It's been an interesting development watching the running back position as well. Of course, Emmett Johnson, 31 touches in this game, and I think every one of those is the right decision, right? He's been toting the rock. He's been, obviously a big weapon out of the backfield, and his touches are just over 30 a game, I believe, for the last 3 games now for Emmett Johnson, or close to 30. He got 29 touches against Northwestern, and I think that's the plan. I mean, for moving on out here, and why wouldn't it be? He's one of the best running backs in the nation. But at the same time, if he had a backup they felt at, it's just about comfortability level. Like if they had a backup that they felt maybe isn't Emmett Johnson, right, but had enough to him that they could give him a few carries. Generally that's a good idea. That way you can kind of save some touches for Emmett Johnson. That's going to be part of the discussion, I think, for him when he decides after the season whether he's going to return or go pro. I would think they would have to be able to convince him that they've got somebody to take a few touches away from him. Now, every running back wants the ball, but it's just not sustainable through an entire season to get 30 touches in every game. There's a lot still to be remained there. I don't know if Quentin Ives. I mean, you think of Mekhi Nelson in that category as well. Of course. So neither of them getting a whole lot of touches in these games. But if Emmett Johnson does leave, then the running back room is wide open. So that's something they're all going to have to decide. Isaiah Mosey, again, has kind of emerged as that second running back, but he's still only getting 1, maybe 2 carries a game. So there's just a lot still to be determined there. But I guess in all of that, saying I don't know. Maybe you would see at some point, and we have seen it before. Divine Ozigbo sit through several years before he got his opportunity and break out. So it's not completely unheard of, but usually if you're kind of at that point in your career and you're not in the mix for playing time, you might look elsewhere. So that's definitely something to look out for. Corey in Lincoln says Penn State losing that game was enormous for Nebraska. We don't need those guys believing they have something to play for. Yeah, you could look at it that way. It is the thing is they still have an opportunity, I think an outside opportunity at this point, but they're going to have to win out. But they still do have bowl contention possibly in front of them for Penn State, as they are now 3-6 on the year. So I look at their schedule, pull that up here. Obviously, Nebraska in the bye week, and that'll be nice. Nebraska finally getting, kind of the reverse. UCLA had the bye week going into this game for Nebraska, so Nebraska should get the better of that. We'll see what happens this week. Now, Michigan State is who Penn State plays this week. Both teams 0-6 in conference play, 3-6 overall, so they're both kind of in the same situation. They're each going to have to win out. You look at Penn State, they've got at Michigan State, Nebraska, and at Rutgers. That was a heck of a performance they put on against Indiana. A lot of these games, if you look at their loss to Iowa, of course, lost by one there, lost by one to Northwestern. If you expect anything but a close game against Penn State, I've got news for you. It's going to be tough. Don't let that record fool you. There's a reason why they're the number 2 team coming into the nation now, into the season. Now, are they that? No, they're far from that. They've of course had quite a bit of changes since that going on, but there's a lot of talent on that team. And again, I'll say it, after I watched them take Indiana to the brink, I was thinking going into this game against UCLA, this might be Nebraska's last chance at a win at the end, for the remainder of the season. Penn State had at that point in that game kind of made me think, I don't know if Nebraska can keep up with these guys. But after the UCLA performance, and of course, kind of the new hope with TJ Lateef and that offense and what they're doing, and Emmett Johnson continuing his run, I think there's certainly a shot for it. But Penn State technically still has something to play for. We'll see if they beat Michigan State. If they lose to Michigan State, that would be quite surprising again, because Michigan State is not trending in the right direction. But it is a home game for Sparty, so we'll see. But I assume Penn State will be squarely looking at a bowl game if they can beat Michigan State going up against Nebraska. Of course, that will be senior day as well. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a Penn State that's rolled over quite yet. I don't know if that's unfortunate, but one way or the other, kind of depends on how you look at it. But I think it's still going to be quite a game, a competitive game for Nebraska in Happy Valley, certainly. And it's going to be interesting, of course, with all the Matt Rule stuff as well. Corey and Lincoln argues Penn State doesn't care about making a bowl game. That stadium won't be anything like it was against Indiana when Nebraska comes to town. That is probably a little bit closer to the truth, but I would argue I would go back against that they don't care about making a bowl game. Again, not their goal coming into the year, not necessary, but I mean those players, you're talking about extending your season, and you're at least talking about, again, bare minimum might not be what you want it to be, but a 6-win season or a 6-win regular season is a heck of a lot better than 3, 4, or 5. Just in the bare minimum of, hey, it's not a losing season. So I think they'll still have more to play for. Might the stadium not be as much of as a big atmosphere? That might be true, but again, it's going to have its own interesting energy to it because of Matt Rule. And I know he signed a contract extension, but there's still going to be some people in the building, some people on campus, many that don't want really anything to do with Matt Rule. We saw that from a lot of the Penn State fan reaction, but there's going to be people in the building that do and have a relationship with him. And Nebraska, of course, extended Matt Rule, so you can all but put that to bed. But yeah, Nebraska finishes 9-3. Some team might be, and Penn State might be that some team might be interested in paying that extra tax to try to get him out of the contract. So I'm not saying it. I don't say that to alert people. I'm just saying it's not all said and done. I believe before he left Baylor, he signed a contract extension shortly before he left for the NFL as well. So that's just something to always keep in mind. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be back. We got more text from you guys. We'll close it out here on One-on-One on 93.7 The Ticket.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
All ticketing options for the 2026 Love Nebraska season are now available. Single match tickets start as low as $16, even cheaper if you want to bring a group. Don't miss your chance to see professional stars like Jordan Larson and Lexi Rodriguez in action this season. Purchase your preferred ticketing option today by visiting lovneb.com/tickets.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Every home is different. Every family is different. So when it's time for a new heating and cooling system, why not get what fits you best? Get the perfect fit with Bryant. Maybe you need higher efficiency, better humidity control, increased warranty, or all the bells and whistles. Bryant provides options in warranty, features, comfort, and efficiency while maximizing savings. Call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP, brought to you by Canopy Street Market on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back in studio here on 1-1. Just a few minutes, a bit of a preview, if you will, for the drive coming up. I got Nick Sainert in studio.
Hello, Buck.
Yeah, and you will stay in studio. We did have a plan to go down to the Icebox, but a little bit of a miscommunication. We'll be probably going to do that again. Don't worry. You'll get your Lincoln Stars practice in at some point.
Yes, plans have just a way of going awry. They had 2 games this weekend and just took the day off.
Yeah. So no practice out there.
No practice.
But you were gonna. Did you bring your skates and everything? I mean, were you ready to go?
I was getting ready to hit a couple slap shots. I've obviously ice skated before. Never done it with a hockey stick in my hands.
Yeah.
And never tried to shoot while trying to stay balanced. So it was going to be an interesting day, but we will definitely do it down the road. We're in communication with the Stars.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't worry about that, Stars fans.
They have a big game this weekend, November 14th against the Lancers.
Okay, yeah.
Omaha.
Yeah, the rivalry of rivalries.
The
at
rivalry
least in my
of
case.
rivalries.
Yeah, as far as the USHL goes.
I don't know where else I'd rather spend a bye week.
Yeah.
And
Not a bad idea.
Speaking of, Nebraska needs a bye week in the worst way.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they've played, 6 straight games?
Yeah.
6 straight games. Every the first week of October, they got back from their bye week after Michigan. 4 in October, 2 in November.
My brain still can't do the math because when I'm coming off Halloween, right? I'm thinking, okay, well, Thanksgiving's next. And so I always, it's kind of like, okay, it'll be quick, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm still thinking before we get to Thanksgiving, we have a bye week, Penn State, and then Iowa, which of course is Black Friday. It's after Thanksgiving, but it feels like Thanksgiving's around the corner and Iowa's like a year away. I don't even think about it.
I think that this week is going to go slow, just naturally, because we don't have a game to specifically talk about. Obviously, we could talk about the win, which was great. But then next week, I think, is when it starts to really ramp up.
Yeah.
And then it's, you have a couple of weeks off and waiting for the bowl game, and you have some conference championships that are on the horizon and stuff. But I don't know. I mean, Nebraska got it done. These are 2 massive games coming up in 2 weeks, though.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it, just kind of going back and forth to the text line. Penn State 0-6 now in Big Ten play.
Oof.
But that close against basically everybody they've played. Iowa, they lost by 1. Northwestern, they lost by 1. 5 to UCLA, 6 to Oregon. And then here this past Saturday by 3 to Indiana. What do you expect that atmosphere to be like? Because there's someone on the text line pointed out it's probably not going to be as lively as it was for the Indiana game, but I think there's going to be some different energy, certainly with Matt Rule and all that cycle that's going on there.
Yeah, I certainly think there's still going to be some of that juice there. Yeah. Nebraska doesn't bring in the number 2 ranking and stuff, but you still bring in a coach that played for Penn State and Nittany Lions and stuff. And I think that ultimately Penn State looks at it as their record is they have 3 wins on the year.
Yeah, they need to win these.
They need to win all
3.
3. Yeah. They need to win all 3. I also think that ultimately for Penn State, their strengths match up incredibly well with Nebraska's weaknesses. And that should alarm Husker fans to some extent because they have 2 exceptional running backs in Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. So we'll see what the future holds there. It's going to be a good environment. And I think that there's going to be a decent amount of Husker fans that might make the trip just because it's a stadium that they haven't been able to attend and go to. I think since 2013 was the last time Nebraska was at Penn State. Nebraska's played Penn State at home before. They played them in the COVID year because that was when not Drew Aller. It was the Will Levis had his first game for Penn State. But ultimately, Nebraska, enjoy the win going into a bye week. It's rare that Nebraska gets a win going into a bye week.
One more text here because I think it's pretty good. Let's say Penn State loses out with 1-score losses. Are they the best 3-9 team of all time over the 2021 Huskers?
Potentially. Not against Nebraska, though. No,
that's not going to do it. All right, that'll wrap it up for 1-on-1. The Drive coming up next. Stay tuned.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at StarterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your weekend forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. Afternoon high around 40. Tonight, increasing cloud cover, decreasing low around 30. And tomorrow, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day, a light breeze. Afternoon high near 68. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and TicketFM.com.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nacho